Chapter 20. The Giant Jaws Ant King. After following Man Yun for nearly 2 hours, Xiaoyan and Man Yun finally stopped in front of a patch of grass. Looking around, Man Yun pointed at a huge tree that was dozens of meters tall. Xiaoyan immediately understood what Man Yun meant. He jumped a few times and stood firmly on the tree. Man Yun smiled. His strong body did not affect his agility at all. Soon, he also stood on the tree. This spirit beast is called the Black Demon Wolf. It has a natural ability called the Demon Eye. If you are hit by the Demon Eye, it is very likely that you will faint or your body will slow down. Although the Black Demon Wolf King's strength is too weak, it has suffered some injuries. However, when I was swept by the Demon Eye, my body still paused for 3 to 4 seconds. I was almost slapped to death. Man Yun smiled bitterly and pointed at the acupoints not far below. The Black Demon Wolf King will come out to hunt for food at this time of day. When the time comes, I will defend against its attack. Mr. Xiao only needs to attack. Man Yun looked at Xiaoyan. He consciously took out the most difficult mission. Xiaoyan thought for a moment and said, "I don't know what Brother Man's true strength is." Man Yun was stunned. He cursed himself and said hurriedly, "My strength is at the intermediate 8-star fighting monarch. After going berserk, I can temporarily reach the early 9-star strength." The Black Demon Wolf King was currently injured, and only had the strength of a single sovereign. I can barely block the attack of the Black Demon Wolf King even if I use my full strength. Berserk. Xiaoyan's heart skipped a beat. He recalled the moment before Man Yun killed the lion. Although it wasn't very strong to temporarily raise his strength from intermediate 8-star to early 9-star, it was absolutely rare. Berserk transformation is one of the secret skills in the barbarian domain. It is divided into 10 colors. The deeper the color, the greater the increase in strength. Right now, I am only the first color, red. I can only increase my strength by a little bit. The stronger I become in the future, the more strength I will have after I enter the Berserk transformation. After Man Yun finished speaking, he looked at Xiaoyan with the same burning gaze. Xiaoyan looked at him and understood. He smiled bitterly and stretched out his right hand. A crimson gold flame jumped out from his palm and turned into a small fire baby in front of Man Yun's surprised eyes. "With Brother Man's eyesight, can you tell its strength?" Xiaoyan said with a smile. Man Yun swallowed a mouthful of saliva. His long and narrow eyes were filled with shock. He mumbled, "This flame is really strange. It can transform into a human form. It doesn't look like a beast fire, and it doesn't look like the ones mentioned in the clan's books." Under Xiaoyan's puzzled gaze, he nodded and said, "All right, I'll leave it to Mr. Xiao then." Looking at Man Yun's solemn expression, Xiaoyan also nodded slightly. Xiaoyan couldn't explain why he agreed to Man Yun's request. It might be because Man Yun was the first human he had met in Forest Domain, or perhaps it was because they were both trial participant. It might also be because Xiaoyan wanted to test the power of the spirit beast from the bottom of his heart. After a while, in a cave not far below, a black wolf that was about the height of a man and covered in hyena hair that was like needles walked out. The black wolf's eyes were dark, and there was a bloody wound on its abdomen, causing it to stagger as it walked. Seeing the black wolf walk out, Xiaoyan and Man Yun looked at each other. They could see the seriousness in each other's eyes. This black wolf was a genuine spirit beast. Although it was injured, it was not something that could be easily dealt with. "Mr. Xiao, be careful." Man Yun looked at the slowly approaching black demon wolf. A trace of determination flashed across his slender eyes. He said to Xiaoyan softly, and was about to go into a frenzied state. Xiaoyan, who had been using his soul power to observe his surroundings, was about to give it his all when his expression suddenly changed. He pulled Man Yun back and looked at a hill not far away under the latter's bewildered gaze. Dong, dong, dong. In the next moment, Xiaoyan, Man Yun, and the black-eyed demon wolf on the ground felt the ground shaking. Under the surprised gazes of the two men and beast, countless fist-sized black ants rushed over. "This is..." Man Yun couldn't help but widen his eyes when he saw this. Although these little black ants only had the strength of a 2 or 3-star Do sovereign, Xiaoyan looked at the direction the ant swarm was heading towards and the black demon wolf kept roaring like it was facing a great enemy. He then understood a little. He also let out a long sigh and said, "This is a giant Jaws ant. It lives in groups. Each group has at least 1,000 of them." 1,000. Upon hearing this number, Xiaoyan's delicate and pretty face couldn't help but change. His hand that was holding the tree branch trembled slightly as he looked at the swarm of ants that looked like locusts passing by. He immediately gritted his teeth. These giant jaws ants were obviously aimed at the Black Demon Wolf. With thousands of giant jaws ants, even if the Black Demon Wolf King was a spirit beast, it would not be able to withstand them. Furthermore, he was still injured. It wasn't easy for him to find a target. He was actually destroyed by this group of black ants. Feeling Man Yun's anger and helplessness, Xiaoyan said softly, "Brother Man, don't worry. The Black Demon Wolf is a spirit beast after all. Just the pressure alone is enough to make the giant jaws ant unable to exert its full strength. Furthermore, if the Black Demon Wolf wants to escape, these giant jaws ants won't be able to stop it." Hearing Xiaoyan's words, Man Yun's eyes lit up again. He looked down at the Black Demon Wolf that was facing the ants. Xiaoyan looked at the ants below and suddenly frowned. A bad feeling spread from the bottom of his heart. Roar! The Black Devil Wolf stared at the hundreds and thousands of giant jaws ants in front of it with its black eyes. Even though it was a spirit beast, it was still somewhat restless. It kept letting out deep roars from its throat, and the pressure of the spirit beast was completely released. The powerful pressure immediately caused the ant colony to become a little chaotic. They obviously slowed down their pace, and the sharp cries of the ants kept coming from the ant colony. The Black Demon Wolf saw that the pressure was effective. It let out a long roar and pounced on the ants. With its strength as a lower-grade spirit beast, it was no match for these ants. The giant jaws ant of a 2 or 3-star Dodi could not be any more relaxed. Not a single one of them survived under the sharp claws of the wolf. Wherever the Black Demon Wolf went, the giant jaws ants would all be defeated. In less than a moment, when the Black Demon Wolf entered the middle of the thousands of ants, there were already dozens or hundreds of giant jaws ants that were killed by the wolf claws. Xiaoyan looked at the group of giant jaws ant that had been slaughtered by the Black Demon Wolf King, and the uneasiness in his heart grew stronger and stronger. He looked at Man Yun who was standing beside him, and the latter's face was filled with doubt. "Mr. Xiao, let's retreat a little. Why do I have a bad feeling about this?" After all, Man Yun was living in a bloody and mysterious place like the barbarian domain. He had seen a lot of things. He had some doubts in his heart when he saw such a one-sided massacre, so he said in a deep voice. Xiaoyan nodded and didn't say anything. The two of them quickly descended the tree like spiritual monkeys. Taking advantage of the fact that the Black Demon Wolf and Giant Jaws Ant were distracted by each other, Xiaoyan and Man Yun quickly retreated. The two of them had just left this place. Then, a huge black ant that was 2 to 3 times larger than an ordinary Giant Jaws Ant appeared on the slope. The moment the huge black ant appeared, as if receiving an order, the Giant Jaws Ant, which had been completely routed, once again regained their spirit. They turned a blind eye to the pressure of the Black Demon Wolf King and rushed towards it. When the huge black ant appeared, the Black Demon Wolf King let out a furious roar. Its voice actually contained a rare trace of fear. Immediately, it turned around and wanted to escape. However, because it had entered deep into the ant swarm earlier, the Black Demon Wolf King had long been surrounded by the Giant Jaws Ant and had no way out. Although Xiaoyan and Man Yun had left far away, they were still shaken by the hissing sound, causing the blood and qi in their bodies to boil. Their chests felt stuffy. Xiaoyan coughed dryly and looked at the huge black ant on the hill. His eyes widened. After a long while, he smiled bitterly at Man Yun and said, "I was wondering why this group of Giant Jaws ants would lure the enemy into the depths. It turned out that the Giant Jaws Ant King was commanding them from behind. This time, the Black Demon Wolf is dead for sure." Man Yun looked at the Giant Jaws Ant King on the tall slope. Sensing that the latter's strength far exceeded the Black Demon Wolf King's, he could only helplessly nod his head. With the appearance of the Giant Jaws Ant King, the originally grain-sized green eyes of all the Giant Jaws Ants turned red. They hissed as they pounced towards the Black Demon Wolf King. The Black Demon Wolf King was caught off guard, and was thrown in front of the Giant Jaws Ant. Immediately, the wolf's fur flew in all directions, and blood splashed everywhere. Roar! With a furious roar, the Black Demon Wolf King was completely enraged. Its dark black eyes were filled with hints of light, and its body trembled. It shook off the Giant Jaws Ant on its body and looked at the Giant Jaws Ant King in the distance with fear in its eyes. Then, it turned around and ran back. Under the black demon wolf's brutal charge, many of the giant jaws ants in front of it were knocked away, and they fell to the ground while wailing. Taking the risk of adding a few more wounds on its body, the black demon wolf king finally escaped from being surrounded by ants. At this moment, the black demon wolf was in a very sorry state. Its body was bleeding non-stop, and the wound on its abdomen was even more severe. Man Yun resisted the urge to kill the black demon wolf, and watched helplessly as the black demon wolf limped out of the ants' colony. Right at this moment, the giant Jaws ant king in the distance suddenly moved. Like a black cannonball, it shot towards the black demon wolf king. In just a few breaths' time, the giant Jaws ant king had arrived in front of the latter. With a wild roar, the black demon wolf king opened its mouth and spat out a mouthful of blood. It fiercely bit at the giant Jaws ant king. The giant Jaws ant king's body shrunk into a black ball. The wolf teeth bit on the black ball, and the sound of its teeth cracking was heard. The black demon wolf king endured the intense pain and was just about to escape when the giant Jaws ant king stretched its body once again and rammed into the black demon wolf king. The black demon wolf king was unable to dodge in time, and was sent flying several meters away by the giant Jaws ant king. It crashed onto the ground. Not far away, Xiao Yan looked at the sudden reversal of the situation. He felt sad for the black demon wolf. According to what Man Yun had said, this giant Jaws ant king was comparable to a human warrior with the strength of 5 sovereigns, plus so many giant Jaws ants. It would be difficult even if the black demon wolf king didn't die. This giant Jaws ant king has probably been paying attention to the black demon wolf king for a long time. As long as it absorbs the energy from the black demon wolf's spirit core, it might have the black demon wolf king's demon eye. This way, it will be able to control more giant Jaws ants. Man Yun said gloomily. After knocking the black demon wolf to the ground, the giant Jaws ant king let out a proud cry. When it saw the black demon wolf king stand up unsteadily, its eyes revealed a human-like mocking expression. The black demon wolf king stared at the giant Jaws ant king. Suddenly, as if it had thought of something, it pounced on the giant Jaws ant king and pressed him down tightly. After that, it let out a sorrowful roar, and the black color in its eyes quickly faded away, replaced by a ghastly white color. When Man Yun saw this scene, he immediately turned pale with fright and shouted out loudly. "Not good, it's going to self-destruct." Before he could say anything else, Man Yun pulled Xiao Yan. With a flash of light, Man Yun's body grew by half, and his ki also became stronger. After saying that he was going to run away, Man Yun took the lead and launched himself into the distance. Xiao Yan had already flapped his heavenly phoenix wings when Man Yun shouted, and rushed out at the same time as Man Yun. Both of them were extremely fast. They didn't even need to personally test how powerful the self-destruction of a spirit beast was. In just a few breaths of time, accompanied by a sorrowful roar from the black demon wolf king behind them, an explosive sound was heard. The turbulent airflow pushed Xiao Yan and the other man hundreds of meters away. Several trees near the center of the explosion were destroyed, causing dust to fill the sky. After being swept away by the strong air current for hundreds of meters, Xiao Yan and Man Yun managed to stabilize their bodies. Man Yun turned around and looked at the explosion. Seeing the huge destructive force of the explosion, he couldn't help but let out a long sigh. He punched the tree trunk next to him, creating an obvious hole. It's over. The black demon wolf wants to eliminate the giant Jaws ant king. It actually used its demon eyes to destroy the spirit core. Man Yun let out a sorrowful sigh. A target that he had found with great difficulty had been killed just like that. He didn't know when he would find another suitable one. It was less than 2 months until the end of the trial, and he still had to fight Man Li to the death. Thinking of this, Man Yun became irritated. Taking a few breaths, Man Yun smiled bitterly at Xiao Yan and said, "I wanted to ask you for help. But now, things have become like this." "Really?" Xiao Yan acted as if he didn't hear him. He stared straight at the place where the explosion occurred. After a long while, he suddenly smiled and said, "I wonder if Brother Man is interested in the giant Jaws ant core of the giant Jaws ant king." Chapter end. Hi guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.